Okay, so I've taken a couple takes of this, and I tend to get long-winded, so I decided to make one that was going to be short, sweet, and just tell how I feel about today's events in our country. And um, I just want to start off by saying to anyone I know who's a Republican, and who thinks that, liberals are just burnt because we lost, or I don't know, just that. Let me just say that Trump's election has nothing to do with politics. The discord in our country between women and minorities and Latinos and immigrants and everyone who's protesting this inauguration, it's not because we lost. It's not because he's a Republican and we're Democrat. It he's not a politician, and although apparently some people think that's a good thing, that's not a good thing because it didn't hold him to any standards of transparency or past service to our country in any regard. No public office, nothing that shows that he served anyone other than himself or his family in his past. So it has nothing to do with politics. It has to do with being a human, and being a human who considers other people's feelings and considers other people's rights, and is accepting that we're not all the same. We're not all the same gender. We're not all the same sexually. We're not all the same financially. We're not all the same nationality. We're not the same when it comes to religion or lack of religion. We're not the same, but that's always been what's made our country so great. We're not expected to be the same, and we were supposed to celebrate everybody's differences. We're supposed to welcome people into this country. That's why ISIS was even created, is because have always been a society of acceptance and of tolerance, and ISIS hates that. People who hate us because we have been so strong in our beliefs and in our core values, and they want to break that down. And I just to see somebody take the position of President of the United States while spouting off baseless fears, lies, saying, he wants to, the discrimination against Muslims, the discrimination against Mexicans, against immigrants in general, although he pretty much is focused on Mexicans. The discrimination against women, thinking he can grab who he wants because he's rich. And don't tell me that was just talk. People don't talk like that if they don't behave like that. And obviously he has so many allegations against him from over the years that he paid off behind the scenes. He is he's a dick when it comes to women. And there's no way around that. And the fact that I had to sit my sons down during a presidential campaign and explain to them why this person on TV, who everybody's covering 24/7, said this and is getting away with it, but they can't, and they shouldn't. And women are more than just pussies to be grabbed. I had to explain to my kids, you talk like that or you do that, it's assault. And we're not here as objects. And this man got elected president. It baffles my mind how here's a person who has never proved anything he said. He's never given his tax returns, even though he said he would if he became the nominee, but he hasn't. The only reason the country thinks he's a successful businessman is because he says so. He the only thing we know about his taxes is he doesn't pay them, and he states that 20 years ago he lost almost $1 billion in the casino business, and that's hard enough as it is. But also in a year when other casinos were doing quite well and making bank, Mr. Trump says he lost $1 billion. So not a good piece of information to hold as I'm a credible businessman or a good businessman. I mean, he couldn't make steaks right. You couldn't get, I mean, who messes up steaks? There's so many companies that he failed at, and there's 4 bankruptcies. I mean, how good of a businessman can he be? We haven't seen any of his financials, and what investigative journalists have found have not been good. He actually is in debt up to eyeballs, but he says he's not, so I guess we're just supposed to go off that. But yet Obama's supposed to produce a birth certificate. I have somebody today said, well, I don't know that he even got a law degree, or he knows anything about constitutional law. Where's his transcripts? Are you shitting me? I mean, could you be any more racist? He is a very well educated, very dignified, full of integrity, black man who ran this country very well. And he never tweeted any thin-skinned 5th grade schoolyard bully comment when somebody made a disparaging comment against him or his family. He didn't act with anything less than integrity, even though he was attacked for ridiculous things, for personal, for his religion, for his race. I mean, just things that were horrible. There were horrible things said about him, and he never behaved in a horrible way. He never did a horrible thing for this country. Somebody else said today that, oh, Obama changed, we live in a communist country now because of Obama. Really? I mean, do you live here? Because no. But Trump made it clear that he likes the less educated. And I can tell you that I graduated high school, and I only went through half a year of the first year of college. I didn't finish college, but I know how to read. I know how to distinguish facts from fiction. So it doesn't take a graduate's degree. It doesn't take a law degree. It doesn't take a master's. It doesn't take any of this to educate yourself and to learn what's right and what's wrong when it comes to facts. It also doesn't take an education to be a decent person. And I think when somebody doubts everything a person says because they're black and believes everything another person says because they're white, I'm sorry if you get upset that I call you a racist, but that's kind of the definition. So, you got to ask yourself, who am I? What am I? What do I believe? Because if you don't like the term racist, then maybe you should change your thinking. Or embrace it and just be what you are, because that's what elected this person to the presidency. And this is a man who has never served anyone other than himself his entire life. And he lied to the American people time and time again. I mean, just 3 years ago he was a Democrat. 4 years ago or 8 years ago, he was saying Hillary Clinton would have been a fantastic president. Now, all of a sudden, when he decided he was going to run for the presidency because he saw a crack in the Republican Party where he could wedge his way in and kind of exploit this level of discord and hate going on, all of a sudden, she's the devil. And where there really hasn't been much talk about it since, because they did what they needed to do, got her out of the way because she was the most qualified, even though we, the American people, the majority, voted for her. But, they wanted the Electoral College gone too when it looked like he was going to lose the Electoral College. But then when he won, all of a sudden it's a great thing. And, they want tax returns, but then he just said, nah, I don't want to release them, so nah, never mind. I mean, he's the only wealthy person, or supposedly wealthy person I know, who talks about it. And I'm sorry, I mean, we learn early on that if somebody tells you, trust me, probably should consider not trusting them. If somebody says, I'm a good guy, chances are they're not a good guy. Because if you were, your actions would show it. So for somebody to sit around and go, I'm so rich, I'm so really? Because I know rich people, and they don't talk about being rich, because you can kind of just see that they are. So let's see it. I mean, let's see your tax returns. Let's see the corporation financials. Let's see this stuff. Prove what you say you are, because whatever. I think it's sad that our country is so divided, and it's not even based on politics. It's divided along basic human rights, civil rights. That's what we're divided on. In 2017, we're divided on whether or not people should be allowed to marry. We're divided on whether somebody should be able to practice their religion. I mean, every religion has their cuckoos. Come on, let's be fair. Just because you have a few isolated people who maybe are radical in this way, there's radicals everywhere. So we shouldn't be divided on somebody's right to practice what religion they want to practice, or no religion, if they choose that. Anyway. I'm not going to fight with people on Facebook anymore, because I've given up. You want to hear what you want to hear. You want to see what you want to see. You want to believe what you want to believe, no matter what facts are presented to you. It's amazing how powerful hate can be. It can take all reason out of somebody's brain, and it just replaces it with fear, anger, and hate. And there's nothing that can combat that other than love and acceptance and tolerance. And right now I just don't have that for somebody who's full of hate. And I feel like anybody who's telling me get over it and just support him, sorry, no. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. Sure, I will say that I hope he doesn't destroy our country, but based on his cabinet picks, I can see that he doesn't care too much about taking good care of our country. And based on his comments of the things he wants to eliminate and get rid of and open up libel laws, and I'm not going to get over it. So, yeah. I think it's very hurtful. I'm fearful for our children. I'm fearful for women. I'm fearful for minorities, all minorities. And I think that seniors who voted for Trump are going to regret it, because they're not going to afford homes and insurance if Obamacare is gone, and Medicare, God knows. I mean, I'm fearful for anybody who isn't named Trump, basically, because I feel like those are the only people that he's going to be looking out for. And those are the pockets that are going to get lined. And the rest of us are out of luck. So good luck to us all. Peace out.